Hey guys, Brian Stevens here with Mortgage Shots. I got my good friend, the notorious Carl White from The Marketing Animals down there in Florida. How's everything going? By the way, is it flooding where you're at right now?
No, it's not. We got a little bit of rain, but not bad at all. Just it's absolutely beautiful here.
People are saying, when did they record this? It really doesn't matter because they always get a little bit of rain.
It's Florida. It rains every other day.
Hey, listen, I want to talk to you about something right now that is becoming a bigger topic of conversation. It's always been a big topic of conversation, but we're hearing more about it. And I know this because one of our previous conversations, we spoke about the influence of artificial intelligence on reviews. But for a loan officer, listen, I said this before, when I watch a movie, I'm going to see how many stars that thing has. If it's 2 stars, I ain't watching the movie. If I got 4 stars, I might hit play on it. Or I might...
Wait, and one thing, even if your buddy Carl, who you trust, I say it's a great movie, and you go look, see it's 2 stars, you're going to pass on it. Which is a weird thing, man, because and me too, by the way. It's like, somebody you trust and you know says yes, but you'll take the reviews of strangers over the people that you know and you trust. That's a weird thing. So the reviews are a big deal, real big deal.
Well, you know, sometimes the people that we love, we don't necessarily trust. My son and me have very different ideas about what a good movie is, and we have very different ideas maybe about what we expect out of a loan officer. And, you know, crowdsourcing and getting the opinion of strangers who don't have like a dog in the fight, well, yeah, there's kind of a reason why that could be a little bit more trustworthy. You can make the argument. The thing is, artificial intelligence is saturating everything. It's going to continue growing. We spoke about this, but I want to talk about not only the importance of reviews, the influence of artificial intelligence on those reviews. And again, if you do enough loans, you know, somebody didn't like the Beatles' Let It Be. So you're occasionally going to get bad reviews. So let's talk about reviews for a couple of minutes and the influence of artificial intelligence.
I'm going to give you a hack on how to virtually guarantee that you'll get a major tick up in your reviews.
Okay,
right?
That's good.
So just recently, we're starting to get referrals from ChatGPT. Like if you've got the paid version of ChatGPT, which a lot of people are these days, which is $20 a month. If I go onto ChatGPT on the paid version and I say, who's a great what loan officer should I work with in Vacaville, California? So if I go on there and I've got the paid version, it'll give me a name. It'll say, hey, you might want to consider calling Brian Stevens. He's been doing it a long time. He's an industry leader, great information, somebody you can trust, competitive rates. You might want to give him a call. And so it'll literally give me a name on ChatGPT. We just started getting referrals from it. You go, well, how do you make that happen? Well, ChatGPT currently is just tied to Bing. Like Bing was the redheaded stepchild of the search engines for the long time. Not anymore. Because now ChatGPT, which some would argue there's better AI services, but that's by far, I would say, the most popular.
By far.
That getting your name, getting your reviews on Bing now is a really, really big deal. Here's the thing, though, Brian. A lot of people have always been hesitant to send out asking for reviews. Like, what if they give me a bad one? And by the way, if you send out for reviews, you're going to get a bad one.
Right.
You just are. And frankly, it makes it seem more believable. You know, because if you get 150 all 5-star reviews, everybody thinks, okay, that's not possible. Right. But even still, when we get that one or 2 or 3, even 4, we feel a little funky about it. Here's the hack on how to get nothing but 5-star reviews. We do this thing called the halfway survey. Okay. And I highly recommend this thing. Okay. So how this thing came about is we got a review one time, and things like this would happen quite a few, it would happen often enough.
Sure.
You know, where somebody would say, well, I'm giving you a 3-star review because you'd call and update my wife, but not me. Like, but dude, why didn't you say something? Like, she was the one that did the app, and, you know, she kind of was the leader of it. I thought maybe you were busy and didn't want to be bothered. You know, I thought she was the financial decision maker. I didn't know. You should have told me. So I don't remember exactly who came up with the idea, but we started sending out this halfway survey. So 2 weeks into the loan, this survey goes out. How are we doing? You know, could our team do anything better to give you a better experience? How would you rate your experience with us so far? How likely would you refer us to a friend or coworker? Are you satisfied with the amount of communication you're getting? Like all those things that we would see when somebody gave us a negative review, we just pose that into they said, well, we didn't like it because of this. We then pose that as a question on our halfway survey. And so we send this halfway survey out to both the borrower and the co-borrower, if there is one. And and the last question on it, is there anything that would prevent you so far for getting us a 5-star review at the end? And whatever they put there, all we have to do is just simply fix that. Here's the thing that we found out is you can go into halftime losing the game. Like maybe something screwed up. You didn't know it. And maybe you knew it, whatever. You didn't know if it bothered them or not, how big of a deal it is. And so you can go into the locker room at the halftime losing, but if you find out why you're losing and you come out in the second half of the game and you can still win the game. And that's what we found on this halfway survey is the vast majority come back, hey, it's awesome, love working with you guys. But occasionally we get that, well, there is this one thing. And if it's anything, I mean, sometimes it's like, well, the rate's above 2%. All right, well,
right,
we're not going to be able to fix that one, right? That's the rarity. But, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10 is something we can fix. And we simply fix it halfway through the loan. And everybody remembers the second half, right? You don't remember the first half of the movie. You remember the second half of the movie. That's where all the action is. And so the halfway survey is a very, very powerful thing. I would highly recommend that you do it. And if you want to know, like, what would you ask? What are some of the complaints that you hear some people say? And just say, hey, and form it into a question. Are we doing okay in these areas? Is there anything that would prevent you from giving us a 5-star review at the end so far? And then just fix it. And then we call them up. Anytime we put a suggestion, we always call them up. Hey, thanks for your feedback. Here's what we're doing now. Don't make excuses. We heard what you're saying. Valid point. Here's what we're doing about it. And here's what we're going to do to prevent that from happening in the future. And then at the end, we send them the reviews, and we get a very, 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 very high percentage of 5-star reviews. And that's the halfway survey.
I would bet that would knock out almost all of your bad reviews. What you're doing is just showing an interest in somebody and what they think and what they feel and giving them really a platform to speak it, right? I mean, this is best practices with or without reviews. This is something every loan officer ought to be doing on all of their files anyways.
So you're right. 100% you're right. It makes everybody happy. Look, most people, they just want a voice. They want a voice and they want to be heard. They don't want a voice. They want to be heard. And when you proactively reach out, which is kind of scary sometimes, it's like, well, maybe let a sleeping dog lie, kind of thing. No. That is not, that you're exactly right. The dog ain't sleeping. The dog ain't sleeping.
No.
He's laying there growling. So you better ask him what he wants.
Dare I say, Carl, if you're doing this as a means of getting better reviews, I gotta think you're probably also getting more referrals from the people giving the reviews by showing an interest in them. So it's kind of a 1-2 punch, isn't it?
We're getting more referrals from them. We're getting more referrals from people searching on Google, which, by the way, those loans close at about 17% for us, which is a high rate. Yep. Referred leads are about 25%. Zillow leads are about 1%. So these are 17 times better than like a Zillow lead or bought lead, online lead type of thing. And so we get more, they refer us more people. We get more referrals from Google through Google searches, and we're starting to get referrals from ChatGPT, because when we send out the link for them to give referrals, half of them we send to Google, the other half we send to Bing. We ignored Bing for the longest time, but if you're ignoring Bing right now with the ChatGPT, you're making a big mistake. Like we were, big mistake.
Well, this is super cool, and it's kind of a forest through the trees. Everyone's going, well, this one's a no-brainer. Yeah, but you're not doing it. Now, if you'd like to see the questions that you should be asking at the halfway point, a great means of communication, all you have to do is click the link down below. Carl and the Marketing Animals have been gracious enough to provide that to us. And of course, in the future, if you're looking for any type of coaching, any type of direction or inspiration for your business, because God knows we need it right now, make sure you reach out to these guys. They always do a great job for loan officers. They're advocate for loan officers just as we are over here. Carl, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your time, man.